Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anastasia here with this week's Team Emoji recap. This episode starts with Cory playing with his daughter. Fittingly, he puts some red Play-Doh on his nose like the clown that he is. Cheyenne is going to meet with Matt's family, and she chats with her family about how she wants his kids. But even more so than having kids, they talk more about marriage, meaning how many carats she wants her ring to be, how big the ice sculpture of their faces is gonna be at their wedding, that kind of stuff. Ryder is also going on the trip, which Cory joked about, but he's okay with. Maci's PCOS is acting up, and her cramps are so bad she feels like she's in labor. She has an implant in her arm for birth control, and now that it's starting to wear off, her pains are getting worse. So obviously the birth control is what's helping the pains, but her proposal for a solution is to go off the birth control entirely. Sounds about wrong? Either way, she at least wants to see how being off hormones entirely will affect her symptoms, so she's going to ask Taylor about him getting a vasectomy to do the birth control, but she doesn't know how it'll go since he might want more kids. Next is Amber. Andrew's shirt says fireworks on it, kind of a disturbing foreshadowing to when Amber tried to hack him with a machete a few months later because she couldn't see the fireworks. Amber is worried about her liver, not because she's a drinker, she was always more of a pill popper, but because her dad died from cirrhosis of the liver. Recently, she's been breaking out into hives and her liver is apparently swollen to the point that you can see it protruding under her skin. I really hope she's exaggerating because that sounds kind of gross and scary. Really hope it's not stretching out her atrocious Leah tattoo. That thing looks bad enough as it is. She suspects that this is because the meds that she takes are so hard on her body. But as she says, she needs those medicines to live. And of course to make sure everyone around her lives, because we all know what happens when she doesn't take them. Catelynn has been breastfeeding and bragging about it on social media, but now she's sick of it. She's like, oh, I got this kid stuck to me 24/7. An hour at a time, kind of a 23-hour difference between those two things. She's also sick of scheduling her therapy around breastfeeding sessions. She's afraid that it'll trigger her PPD again because she feels like she's doing it all, and that can be a trigger. Though I'm not sure what she's doing exactly besides breastfeeding and going to therapy, but the breastfeeding is very demanding and stressful, I will give her that. Tyler is supportive and says that she's the mom, so she knows what's best and she's just maintaining her mental health. I sort of want to ask if Kate doing her makeup in full-on Instagram style with glitter eyelids just to walk around the house is also part of maintaining mental health, because it looks nice, but it's very noticeable difference from past episodes. But hey, it's a huge improvement from the days that she didn't even wash her face to show up on TV, so I will give her compliments for that. Cheyenne is going to see Matt's family, and she brought along Ryder. Seems reasonable. She also brought along her sister and her sister's baby. Seems a little weird. Maci goes to the doctor and says she might want to go off birth control. The doctor gives that old, oh, you can manage cramps with diet and exercise thing, which I don't know if that works because I sure never tried it. She wants to maybe suggest vasectomy to Taylor and get the doctor to help convince him. Amber takes another trip to the Any Lab Test Now place to get a blood test to check if her liver is healthy. She's dramatic as hell getting the blood taken and goes on and on about how she's afraid of needles. Again, she was a pill popper, not a heroin addict, so I guess that's one positive trait of hers. Kate says that the tabloids went nuts saying her and Tyler divorced because she went on a trip without him and he went on a trip without her. Honey, no one cared that much. He posted about his clubbing on Instagram and Kate commented like, this is what trust is, letting your husband go to the club and not being possessive. Despite the fact that a few years ago she barged into his bachelor party like, where's my mans at? No one better be grinding on my mans. Anyway, she says she trusts him, but also if he did anything, she would find out and he would lose everything. Was that a joke or a threat? Sounds pretty cocky considering one of you is kind of out of the other one's league here. And also you're on the show and make the same amount of money, so he's not exactly gonna lose everything either way. Kate also wants to go on a trip of her own now, complete with drinking now that she's done breastfeeding. Cheyenne meets Matt's parents, with her kid, her sister, and her sister's kid in tow. Overall, they like her, though Matt apparently forgot to tell them about the camera crew. Surprise! They talk about moving in together, all at the dinner table together. Cheyenne already has an empty spot on the bed just waiting for him, but he reveals he's signing a 2-year lease to move in with a random roommate before he ever lives with her. She gives him a noticeable death stare, complete with a silent treatment across the family table, while all his family is forced to sit by and watch. Maci and Taylor go golfing. That's how you know these bitches are too rich. I'm convinced you have to be making at least 6 figures to have enough free time to find that shit interesting. All the hitting of balls on the golf course brings up the perfect opportunity for Maci to bring up Taylor getting the old snip. Amber discusses her dad, who is self-medicating his bipolar disorder by drinking, and she's worried that she will suffer the same health issues due to her medication. She's very aware of how all this stuff runs in the family, which is why she gets so emotional when she hears Leah having issues. Kate is having a girls' night. She meets with her friends in Michigan's finest trailer park, and the limo comes to pick them up. Seriously, limo comes to pick them up in the middle of the trailer park. The duality of the life of Catelynn is truly a fascinating phenomenon. Kate and her friends go to this club, grab some titties, and talk about how much they're showing off to the haters. Over at the golf course, Maci is talking about how Taylor should get a vasectomy, while Taylor looks like he's about to floor it in the golf cart and drive them into a water hazard. Basically, he says he does want more kids maybe in the future, and he isn't ready for that permanent of a decision. Maci presses him, and he says he's just overwhelmed. Seeing that she said that her birth control thing expired in July, which is now, we'll probably hear a pregnancy announcement within the next few months. Amber got the results from her liver test, and all is normal. The hives and the swelling of the liver are all just due to her many medications, and she's going to talk to her doctor about that. She's relieved, but feels that she has even more questions now. After the family fun weekend with Matt, Cheyenne is somewhat salty. You can tell she's like grinding her teeth trying to hold it together though. She's like, yeah, it's interesting to see the, differences in our timeline. I'm ready whenever you are. Hope you'll still be ready in 2 years, Cheyenne, because that man is not ready. And that's all for this episode of Team Mom OG. They showed a preview for next episode in which Mackenzie McKee will be showing up for like a test. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe she'll make it more interesting. Do you think Cheyenne is moving too fast? Do you think Taylor should consider the vasectomy? And why is Kate so desperate to prove the haters wrong? Like, I'm pretty sure she's more desperate to show off to the haters than she is to actually have fun. Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for Team Mom Recaps every week.